guys, it's HeySofia and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video we're going to be doing episode 3 of my survival multiplayer series. So if you remember in the last episode we were doing terraforming and gardening. This episode we're going to be focusing, just like I mentioned, on crops and animal pens, that kind of thing. So we're going to get a start on that. It's going to take a little while to build them all up because we're going to need lots of seeds, so we're going to need them to grow and then harvest and then plant whatever we get left over. But I think over here is going to be a really good spot. I just want the crop area, well, I prefer it to be a little bit separate to the main building, and I think this is kind of like secluded and private, that it can kind of be like a crop animal abode. So it'll be a little like private hideaway, little pretty garden crop animal pen area. So what we're going to do first, we're going to build, we're going to go and get rid of this guy. So what we're going to do first, we're going to focus on this little bridge here. We're just going to build a very simple one for now, just so we can get any animals across from this side. For now, we will probably just use, I think I saw a couple animals over there, so we'll probably just use those for now, but eventually we'll head up some of the pigs and stuff that are on this side as well. And it's also if we find any sheep or cows or anything like that, and they're on this side, then we can just herd them across really easy. First thing first, torches. We're going to make a bunch so it's quite bright. There still may be the odd dark bit when I'm doing this episode, so I do apologize, but this village just starts to be brighter every time we film, so we're getting there slowly. I'm trying to make it easy for you guys to see like you mentioned, but we'll just place a few around here. I might actually build something where I just walk past instead of doing more gardening. And I didn't do the gardening on this side like I mentioned because I figured, well, if I want to do the crops and the animal pens and stuff like that, I should probably focus on doing that first and then doing the gardening. Just because we're doing the gardening doesn't mean we have to do it all at once. Things will change over time as we get more resources and stuff like that, so we'll focus on doing this first. Okay, so we're just gonna light this all up so we have no mobs while we're building. I think this is starting to look pretty good now, just especially under these trees we want lights. Okay, so I think that's looking pretty good now, maybe a couple here. But I think this is mostly lit up now, so it should be quite bright when we're... So the plan for today is to do something for pigs because we have pigs really readily accessible in this area. And I think also chickens, cows and sheep might be a bit more of an issue. We might have to try and travel to find some. And also horses, I haven't seen any at all, so we might have to do a couple of like exploring videos. I might do a little bit of exploring today and try and find a structure that I was talking about, just so you guys can see what I was saying. Because I mentioned that the map that I play on here at p.nerd.nu is like a custom biome type map, so there are little structures, so I'll see if I can find any on the way, just so you get what I mean. But can we get any seeds from any of this? No. But I just sped up ahead anyway, and all I have done is simply just fill in these sand bits that I had on the ground there. Because we're doing crops and we've got animals and that kind of stuff, we don't really want patchy sandy bits in the dirt, so I've got a couple over there which I will probably replace over time, but I've removed all the main ones that we need so we can be making pathways and making crops. So this is just going to be a process at the moment of going back and forth and placing water, doing crops, placing water, doing more crop preparation. Now I think that the best thing to do would be have our wheat crops right against the cliff here. I don't know, I just think it's, when I do my crops, I know some people do like little squares or they do one big rectangle thing. Personally, I like to try and work with the land when I do crops, unless if I'm doing a particular theme and it makes more sense to have big square areas. But I'm going to have my wheat crops all up the back against the cliff, and I think that will look quite nice. Then what we will do is we might have a little section for carrots, which are the only two crops that we have. Oh, we also have melons, so a little section for melons as well. But I might see if we can also find any other settlements nearby and see if we can like take some of their crops, like obviously plants so we're not griefing, but we'll see what we can find, see if we can find any more crops that we could use. I think this little area here will make a really good carrot patch, so I'm just messily going to build it. Also, don't be afraid to go down a level in your little vegetable patch. See this gap here? I think it would be quite cool to actually continue the carrot patch down there. Some people make it try neat, but I find sometimes it looks better when it's less neat, unless if you're building a particular style. Like for example, sometimes in people's backyards, if they've got vegetable patches, they've got them in really neat little rectangles and they're all file, but I find in more like country looking, I suppose, builds like this, I think it's better to have it messier, a little bit more natural looking. But we're going to place what carrots we do have here. Like I said, this is going to take a very long time. We're going to have to harvest a lot just to build this all up very slowly, so we'll see how we go. But I'm just going to do a few more things here, but I think this is looking pretty good for a little carrot thing. And then I think we will have our pig structure over here. So I've just split up into daylight and I've placed there 2 spruce logs, just 3 blocks high, evenly kind of spaced apart. And we're going to build like a little very easy enclosure. I would like to do some more detail in this later with podzol, maybe also some coarse dirt, some pathway block, and make like a little mud section, even some hay blocks in there as well. But again, we're going to need the soft touch for that, which we will need to work on, so that's going to take a little bit. But we're just going to get a few more logs at the moment so we can build some more fencing. Now, I'm trying to be really strategic with my tree chopping here. I don't really want to be removing too many that are close, and I kind of want to keep the big ones, and I'm just destroying the little ones here and there. Now, I do plan on planting a lot of these as well. It'll be alright because we can harvest vines and regrow them, but for the most part, if we can keep the big trees so we can have big effects and we're not having to worry about planting a sapling, growing it, oh it's the small one, and then removing it, and then planting and growing and it's another small one. You just want to try and avoid repetitive processes like that, especially if you have already big trees around you. The thing I find with survival is it's very hard to get things this well, especially for me because I'm more of a creative player, so I try and be really resourceful. You will also notice that my inventory is quite the mess and my chests are quite the mess. I'm not very supposed to like clean with my inventory and chests. They tend to always be a bit of a mess when I play, so once we have a bigger place, maybe we'll make a chest storage facility or something like that. It'll be all neat and all categorized, but for now, you have to put up with my pigsty. It's going to be a little bit messy for a while, so bear with me on that one too. But let's go back now. I've made some fence posts and also some gates. Now, when I do little fencing areas, I'll also make our little staircases here as well. But when I make fence for things, I don't just use fence posts, but I also use gates. Now that might seem a little bit odd, but I think gates, if you're not going to use them anyway, make a really good fencing area. Just because they're nice and kind of like floating. You can have like bits where it's like fence, gate, gate, fence, gate, fence, or you can just have fence, gate, fence and make like little more like decorative fencing, if that kind of makes sense. But I just find it adds a little bit more detail, it makes it a little bit more different, so that's what we're going to go for today. Now I'm just making my little cover here. I had the perfect amount of slabs, so that works out well. And I'm just going to fill up with some of the fence posts back here. We just don't want any mobs or enemies coming into that area, so we're going to completely block it off. But we will need to get some more, so I'll need to do that. But I'm just going to skip past this in a second because we're going to be having a quick server restart, if I believe so. So it'll end up being night, but before that happens, we will quickly build a little water hole. This is something I always do in my animal areas. I just think Yes, I know it's not like it doesn't matter in Minecraft, but personally I think it just, I don't know, I feel a bit better when there's a little water source for my animals. So we just want to place a 2-block wide thing. If I've got a really big area with lots of animals, I normally do a 2x2 like big water source, but I find when it's just like a small little thing, 2 and 2 is fine. So that was a server restart, so I've just skipped past that now, but I think this is looking pretty good. We're starting to get our little crop area going. I am going to be doing and skipping past as well, just me doing a lot of the gardening and that kind of thing, because it's the exact same as the gardening that I did in the last episode. So if you follow along with what I did in that gardening, it's the exact same. But I'm just doing my little fenced off areas now, so we'll be using gates and fence posts, but we're going to need some more fence posts, so we might do a very quick in the dark harvesting. So this is outside of the area that I have been lighting, so it is a little bit dark, so I do apologize. I'm going slow, I don't want to run into any mobs. Nope, there's nothing around me. Okay, let's mine this tree. We're just gonna do a couple of things, just a couple of trees, just to finish off making some fence posts. Oh, and I think I saw down there as well a jungle tree, so we might use that as well. I think the jungle, I don't know if anyone else agrees, but I think jungle and oak fence posts go really well together. The jungle fence post kind of looks like a pinky color, so it's quite nice and it's quite neutral if you want to add a little bit of color. I think jungle fence posts are like perfect. Acacia can be a bit too orange, but jungle is like just that nice kind of like a reddy pink, like orangey reddy pink. It's not quite pink, but it's not red. It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it? I also think they look so different than the logs. I don't know if anyone else agrees, but like if you look at the color of like jungle blocks and then you look at like the little square details that they have, I don't really think they look very similar. They look a bit more brown on the actual tree, but then when you have the planks it's like pink. Not a problem with me, I think it's pretty, but you know. So I think that should be good. We should probably head back now. I might just quickly get this one more here. Now I don't know if we'll ever extend our little village into this area. We'll have to see how we go. Obviously we don't want to have a very small village. There's a lot of things that you guys want covered, and I also want to cover a lot of things, so we'll see how big we grow the area. We might want to make more little separate areas, so somewhere like that little waterhole might be great. Maybe we'll build like a little park swimming area there. That could be really cool to do as well, but we'll see how we go. So just quickly make these planks and these logs. We'll make a bunch of fence posts and some sticks. Again, sorry for my messy inventory, but hopefully it won't be messy for too long. Okay, so we have a bunch of those now. That should be good. We might want to get some more gates as well. So we'll do that quickly. Grab those. Cool. And now we might do the jungle ones quickly. Get those pink fence posts that we want. Okay, I'll grab these fence posts, just grab a crap load, and that should probably do us. Okay, so we're going to go back to our little crop area now. I might actually place one there as well. But see how it's like a nice contrasting color? I think they're really nice. So if you're not wanting, I know sometimes people like to mix up their fence posts and they don't particularly like the look of like the like spruce and oak because they can find it's a bit dark. So I think jungle is just a really good alternative if you're not wanting too much of a different color. And I find sometimes that like oak and birch can be a bit too bright. So I think this is like a nice way to kind of have like a contrasting there. So we will make our little piggy pen now. We're just going to make a very simple one. We want a couple of gates here as well. There we go. But I think that's a good little pen. Now I would like to add some mud details in there, but again, we need soft touch, so it's going to take us a little bit to get that, but we will get there, don't you worry. We're just going to make some different fence details now, again, mixing up the jungle, the oak, that kind of thing. We want it patchy as well. I like the patchy look because it's a bit more rustic. Now, if you're needing stability and you need it to make sure that no mobs are going to get in, that's completely fine. You can build a fence the whole way around for safety, especially if you're somewhere where a lot of mobs are forming. You just want to do whatever suits you, but I think this suits me well. Now we are just going to build a little path back here, and I think we're going to build a little chicken area back here, kind of secluded, little pretty area, and we're going to use the trees for this one as well. But we might make a solid backing instead of like a fence one like the pigs. Okay, so what we might do, we might make a spruce roof that goes across and an oak roof with the slabs, and then we'll have a solid backing at the back, and then make the, oh, there's a little piggy joining us, and we'll also have the fence post as well, but we'll just go around patchy like that and join it up to the other tree, and then we'll have the fence posts around. I am just going to go and grab some more wood blocks because we will need them. Oh, we have come across a creeper. Let's just quickly kill this guy. But something we might do first, we might just do a little bit of exploring because I am wanting to get some more crops. So I'm just going to wander for a bit and see if I can find anything, and we'll see what happens, but I'll speed up a lot of my running. But, okay, nothing so far that's really interesting. But I just sped up now because I have come across this little players area here. So these are things that we might run into while we're playing. So obviously this is a bunch of people. I think the server's only been up for this map for about 2 weeks now. So this has got to be a bunch of people, and they have mined all of this. So it can be quite impressive on the server, like what people can do. We'll see if we can like explore, and I can show you around a little bit. Some people will team up and do like little group builds and stuff like that together. They'll have different town themes every revision, so it'll be quite cool to show you guys that kind of stuff. But they have a little veggie patch here, so I'm just going to raid it. Now you can harvest other people's crops on the server as long as you replant them. If you're not replanting it, then it like classes as grief, so you just want to make sure you're always replanting. So we will lose some seeds from this, but that's fine because overall we need some seeds so we can get some more crops growing, so we can just get our crops areas up a little bit faster. They also have beetroot, we're just going to need to dump some stuff, and they also have potatoes and pumpkin, which are 3 things we don't have, so we will grab some of those as well. Now while I was on the way out here, I did come across some sugar cane, so I was able to harvest that. Not from this person here, but I found some sugarcane against a riverbed, so I got that. There was also some more roses, so I harvested some roses, which was good as well. And I also found sunflowers, which I was like, yay. So we have it must be like a sunflower plain nearby us, so there's a few different things that we can do as well. Now I'm just going to grab the 2 pumpkins, and then I will head back home, so we'll be back to our little area in a second. There we go, so I ran all the way back, which took a little bit, but we made it back. So we're going to finish off doing our fencing now, and we'll also plant the extra seeds that I got. Now what we're going to do here, you just want to take the spruce. I'm just doing it really patchy and random, so it doesn't have to be perfect like me, and don't be afraid to mix wood materials if you don't have all of one, especially in the kind of village I'm building. It's kind of like natural in a way. I'm just being really survival in the way that I'm building my village because there are less. Oh, there's a chicken. We'll try and keep him in here, hey? Go back, Mr. Chicken. But we'll quickly block up the back area now so he can't run out here. This up. Oh, I need some spruce and oak. We'll change that to spruce. Okay, join that up. And join it up here. Perfect. We'll just get rid of that one there. Again, I'm just making it kind of patchy and making a little thicker detail at the back. I'm just gonna push him in there. Oh no, no, go back. We'll get him back in there. But we'll also then just have a very simple gate and just some fence posts to lock him up. Now I would like to again add some more details to this area and probably completely close it off just because it's a chicken coop. We don't want them flying. I can't remember if chickens fly. I don't think they do. I haven't played like PvE survival for a couple months, but I don't think they can really fly too much. But I would like to completely enclose this just to make it really safe, so we'll just get him in there. Come on, Mr. Chicken. We might need to go get some wheat seeds or something and lead him in. We'll go do that quickly. Let's grab some wheat seeds, hey? Okay. We'll grab our seeds and we'll just lead him into the thing. So we'll grab the seeds. Here he comes. Now obviously we'll need to get a couple more chickens, but at least we have one. One is a start, so I think our little chicken coop here is quite cute. We might just want to also close it up a little bit more. We might add some lights and just make it a bit taller here. But I think this is looking pretty good now. Again, just trying to keep with that natural look, but also trying to in a way match it with the pig area. And if we have a cow area and a sheep area, it will probably be very similar as well. But there we go, so I finished off just by adding a torch and a gate to my little chicken coop there. But I think this is looking really good now. I did all my gardening exact same as the first area. But I think this is looking really nice. It's fitting with the village theme, and once we have all the crops looking, it will start to look very effective. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and like always, thank you. Bye!